Once you feel at that point that there is nothing more you can add, then that's your point to fly from there.
All they look at is salary, but you could get a job where it's a dead end. There's no opportunity for mentorship. There's no opportunity for growth.
Thinking about my dreams, that's going to happen one day. It won't happen in
won't
that way.
happen.
You need to work towards it, and it won't happen without proper planning.
Even though we stretch ourselves, there's always room for growth.
So that was the trigger for me to take the other offer, and it ended up in a good way for me because it opened the next door for me.
Welcome to Negotiation Secrets. This is your number one podcast where we talk about all things negotiation, from negotiating your salary to negotiating for deals, but much more importantly, we focus on you negotiating for the life that you want. I'm your host, Dr. Clara Esomeme, internal medicine physician and negotiation strategist. With me, I have Abdulhadi Abdulaziz. He is from the United Arab Emirates. He's worked across different sectors, from the banking industry to the free zone. Now he works for the federal government and he does procurement. I have him in the studio. Welcome to the studio.
Well, thank you, Doctor, for the nice introduction. I see that our pre-negotiation of this interview worked well because you pronounced my name correctly.
Yes, I did my best.
Yes, so that's how the planning and preparation goes, right?
That's
Without
correct.
planning and preparation, you would have pronounced it wrong. So
I would
that's,
have had
I
big
guess,
problems.
so we see that this our podcast today, it's more relevant of what we just had discussion
correct.
today about negotiation and how you should be prepared for it.
Yes.
I'm Abdulhadi Abdulaziz for people who doesn't know me. So I used to work with the banking sector earlier, and then I worked in different sectors in terms of investment funds and the managing different clusters as a free zones. Currently, I'm working with federal government. It's an investment fund, and I'm managing procurement. Procurement being my journey from day one in my life, and the story is going on so far.
And so you studied marketing, right? And then now you are in procurement. Do you mind sharing your journey with us so that someone who is a younger person listening would know how they can pivot and know that it's still going to be fine even when they pivot from what they originally studied in school?
Yes, because I always had a passion for marketing. I was that kind of person who's creative, and those ideas that comes to my mind. And I saw that my career is going to be in marketing. But when one day when I just finished school, I ended up in procurement, and then I saw that it was interesting buying different stuff and managing procurement. We do it in our daily life, but then it became my journey, and then I was like, okay, I'm applying what I do in at home, or everyone applies in daily life at a professional level, and that's how my procurement, work career, path started from there. But I would say that studying marketing helped me a lot because I created that bond with the people that I work with, and when they speak about what they want and I speak their language, they really love that, and that's why I guess many people I've worked in the past, they enjoy working with me, and definitely they're gonna comment on this, so that that we miss working with you, and it's always been pleasure, working with many people across UAE.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's very important that we know that whatever we've learned, whatever experience we have, when we move on to another role, we're taking all of that with us. You're not gonna be like, okay, well, I studied marketing, now I'm gonna erase everything that I know, because that's how you apply it in everything that you do.
Well, actually, you rightly said, because whatever you learn in your career, it carries on with you, and then you add on it,
You
right?
add, yes.
It builds up, it builds up. It doesn't mean that if I worked in some sector, let's say if I worked in the past in banking sector, I was doing the purchasing for different type of nature of requirements. Now I'm an investment fund. It has nothing to do with banking. It doesn't mean I erase what I have been doing in the past, but
Correct.
actually it's built up.
It builds
And
up.
it exactly, and it helps you when you move forward into your next phase in your life, and
Yes.
that you should be always. That's why the your career should be always adding new things you learn in your
I
life.
agree. And so looking at your career, you've moved from one job to another. You've moved a little bit. Um, Personally, I think for someone to grow very fast in their career, for you to go top to management level, you don't need to stay too long in one role. I think like 2 to 5 years, because if you have like maybe like a 30-year career journey, if you spend 10 years in one role, are you, at what point are you going to get to top management? But what's your take on that?
Well, in my opinion, there is no fixed time frame for
Okay.
this. I feel that when you reach at a stage where you feel that there is nothing new is being added to your career in this job that you're doing, then that's the point where you need to see what's your next path is.
Yes.
But if as long you're in one job and it's been a couple of years and you're learning something new and you're adding more values to the organization you're staying, that you're adding values and you're building your career path, then absolutely that's your take on to continue. So in my opinion, no, there is no fixed time
There's
frame.
no
But
time.
there is, you just need to see when you reach at that point where you feel that there is that's the dead end and you need to move on. Then that's your take to go.
That makes sense. So as long as you're still learning and you're still adding value, then
Absolutely,
it's okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Once you feel at that point that there is nothing more you can add,
Yeah.
then that's your point to fly from there.
Yeah. And then what's your take on leadership and mentoring? How does that help people move from one level to another? Because sometimes when you're at work, you really don't know what's on the next level. You have limited knowledge. But mentors can help you, can take you from one point to another. They could help create a plan for you. So what's your take on that?
Well, me as a person who always said this in the past to the people that have worked with me, and I was managing them, that always have a career path for you, career plan for you. So put goals that what you're going to achieve in next 1 year, what you're going to achieve in next 3 years, what you're going to achieve in next 5 years.
Yeah.
And because without clear direction, you will be just coming to office as a body, doing just a daily task, and then you leave.
Right.
That's not how you will be developing your career. So for me, as a leader who always say this to the people that I've managed in the past, that put the career plan, work towards it. Even that does mean that you're gonna come and take my position. I'm not scared, but that it shows that I develop the people I work with, right? And that's the type of bond I create with the people that I've worked in the past, that they love working with me because I do care about their career as well. It's not just I want to focus on the short-term
Yeah.
goals or just the daily task, which is not going to add value at the longer run. But I should focus on the longer run. I develop their career, and then that's where it shows that you're being as a leader and not a manager.
And how would you describe the difference between a leader and a manager? Because everybody would assume a manager leads the department or leads the people who work in his team, but it seems for you there's a clear difference in how you operate, between how a leader and a manager
There
operate.
is clear difference as a line between being a manager and being a leader. That line is when you are a manager, you're focusing, as I said, on the short term stuff that's just daily tasks, and you're just trying to be on top of the head of the employees. You're not developing them, you're not empowering them.
Yeah.
But a leader doesn't do that. Leader will be happy to see the people that he is managing, that they grow in their career. He empowers them,
Yeah.
and he let them take decisions sometimes, so that they're ready for the next phase.
I agree. There's something you talked about. You talked about, helping people make like their 1 year plan, and you're not even worried if they come take your. If it's like, oh, my 1 year plan is to take your job. You're like, yeah, that's fine. That means I'm doing a good job. So there has to be a plan. And for me, like 2, 3 years ago, I had no. My first time in the UAE was February last year. So that's my first time I ever set foot here, right? So if 2, 3 years ago, if I went back to look at my plans for like 5 years, the UAE would not have been part of that plan. So how do you pivot? And has that happened to you where you had this plan and then that didn't happen?
I always say this to people, and as I said, I develop my the people that who work with me, but it doesn't mean that I develop them and I forget about myself, because when they reach a point where they're gonna take my position, I need to take my manager position. And that's how it goes. And I always, have this in my mind that whenever it's been a work or it's being my personal life, I always have a yearly goal. I have a 5 years goal, and I always work towards that, and I make sure that I achieve that goal.
Wow.
So my tagline in life is dream and then make sure you make those dreams true. So it's not just I dream and then I just lie in my bed and then I'm thinking about my dreams. That's going to happen one day. It won't happen
It
in
won't
that way.
happen.
You need to work towards it, and it won't happen without proper planning.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So there's the dream, there is the plan, and then there's the realization of that dream. So, but what if that dream? So let's use me as an example again. So I was dreaming. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be in management in my hospital because I was in management, left management, and then I would have dreamt I would have been in management. So you've never. So have you ever had anything that kind of was like a detour, which was surprising? You're like, oh, I thought I was gonna go in this direction, but here I am going in another direction. Has that happened to you?
Well, I guess this is where our today topic comes into picture. Negotiation. You
Yeah.
negotiate with yourself,
You do.
right? You negotiate with yourself. You see that next step that I'm going to take in my career, what's going to add to me?
Yeah.
Where it's going to take me, right? If you feel that's going to be adding to your career and it's going to be helping you down the line in 2-3 years, then definitely that's you're going to take decision on it. But again, all decisions won't happen if you don't do that negotiation with yourself,
That's
right?
right.
So it's not about that taking decision. Just you woke up in the next morning and you take decision, and then you're saying, "I'm gonna wait and see what's
See what
gonna happen."
happens.
That's
Nothing is gonna happen.
that won't happen in that way.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
will be a total chaos.
Yeah, that would be like fantasy. If you have a dream, then you have to have a plan, and then you have to carry out that plan for that dream to happen.
Exactly. Then that's not becomes a negotiation and planning. That becomes abracadabra. It's magic for
Magic.
you, and then it happens.
Yes, yes. So what's the biggest mistake you've seen people make when navigating their careers or negotiating in life?
In the past, I had a couple of scenarios where I also asked the employees that I was managing, and I noticed that they just focus on the salary and the numbers. Yes, salary is important. We do need money to have a good life, right? To have that lifestyle and to feed our family, and we have a responsibility to take care of. But it's not just the numbers that's going to decide your career. You need to focus on what's beyond that, because if you give priority also to your career, what's going to add to you, then the next step you're going to take, you will be in bigger position with
Correct.
bigger salary.
Yeah, because many people have that they have that myopic view that all they look at is salary, but you could get a job where it's a dead end. There's no opportunity for mentorship. There's no opportunity for growth. The salary may be big today, but in like 5 years, you're still there earning that salary. Meanwhile, someone who took something less but had other opportunities for growth will be making much more than what you're making, and they would have bigger impact compared to someone who just looked at their salary.
I'm sure those people, they woke up in the morning, they looked in their bank account, they saw the numbers are not good, and they took decision based on that. But if
Yes.
they were sat with themselves, they planned, they negotiated with themselves,
Yes.
they put a proper, path for themselves,
Yes.
they would have been in better position
I agree.
with better decisions.
Yes. And sometimes it's I call it, for lack of a better word, I call it like a scarcity mindset, where someone is so aware of their lack that they're so afraid, and then you just hold on to what you find. You're not thinking of the big picture. You're not thinking, okay, there might be, I may have less money, but I have more opportunities here. But you're like, no, I'm just going to look at the money.
I guess being in the comfort zone killed lots of creativity and lots of people who were smart in the past that I've worked with, because they just got stuck in their comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
So if you're a smart person and you're making plans and you're taking decisions after doing a proper planning and proper career path is there, then you will be happy to leave the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because the moment you leave your comfort zone, you will end up doing things that you didn't even thought that you
had the-
have. You
yeah,
had
belief.
you didn't had opportunity to work
Yeah.
on it. But when you moved out of that comfort zone, you will end up, oh, I can do this. I
Yes.
didn't know about it.
Yes. Yes, because you don't grow fast, or you don't grow much when you're comfortable. So it's when you move from that zone, then you begin to challenge yourself, and then you find out that, oh, okay, I can actually do this. Oh, I can actually do this. Oh, there's an opportunity there. But if you're just there where you're comfortable, you know everything you need to know, you're not learning. It's comfortable. You don't feel any form of embarrassment. You know everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I see comfort zone is the killer of our talent. It just kills the talent, because you're not ready to leave that zone.
Yeah.
And you end up not knowing what talents and what things you can do next.
I agree. I agree. I wonder what part of my life I'm just so comfortable. Now you're making me think.
I guess you need to sit with yourself
And
and do some
negotiate,
negotiates.
negotiate with myself. Yeah, do the preparation and then have all the information.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna sit in front of the mirror, and this time you're gonna ask, mirror, mirror, what's my comfort zone?
Yeah, I think I will do that because even though we stretch ourselves, there's always room for growth.
Yes.
You know, I'll come back to that room for growth. But I want to take this conversation to like real, not like real. All what we're talking about is negotiation, but negotiating because you do procurement. Sometimes when I negotiate or when I'm helping people negotiate through a process, I could just tell them, you know what, do not respond to this message for now. So when
Yes.
you negotiate, what have you learned along the way, as so that people listening will learn one or two things on how to negotiate better?
I guess for people who's gonna watch this, you're gonna learn my tactics this time and
They'll
gonna be
know,
revealed.
they'll know your secrets.
Yes. So the walking to that meeting for negotiation,
Yeah.
for me it starts when you are off that outside of that meeting room.
Yeah.
When you are on your desk, you need to prepare yourself for that. You
Yes.
can't just walk to the room without preparing, without having the knowledge, without having the right information, without having the ups and downs, pros and cons of the contract or the vendor that was in front of you.
Yeah.
And it also the body language, the confidence that also play a big role. I do walk to some negotiation and some meetings with my protein shake, and and it gives the impression, like this guy is really serious and he's really stiff and he's they just get scared. But there is also times where you just break that ice.
No,
where
but I
you-
think if I see someone come to negotiation with protein shake, I'll be like, oh, that's my buddy, that's my friend. I think that's very. It means you don't take yourself too serious.
Exactly, but that's how each one have different personalities. Some
Right.
people gets worried that, oh, this guy is if we don't end up well in negotiation, he might just end up punching us. So but that's how different people
To perceive,
interact. That's I guess body language is very important
It is
for
very
you when you
important.
walk to the negotiation room. Preparation very well. Confidence, you need to have confidence. You need to know have the knowledge of what you're talking about.
Yes.
You can't just go to a meeting where you don't have the knowledge about it, or you don't know what you're gonna sign up for. That's then gives the upper hand of the other party to negotiate with you, and they will end up taking
Taking
the
advantage.
having the full pizza instead of being a 50-50 share.
So do you think you're talking about 50-50? I don't think negotiation has to be 50-50, but I think everybody has to win in negotiation. They may win because everybody needs something. If I go negotiate and I'm the only person winning, the other person really gets nothing. To me, that's bullying. That's not negotiation.
In procurement career, I feel you will end up in different situations.
Okay,
It's
tell
not
me.
necessary you will always end up in 50-50 situation. Sometimes the vendor will have upper hand. Sometimes you will have upper hand.
Yeah.
But that's where everyone is going to make sure that it's a win-win situation. It's not necessarily it's going to be 50-50, even if it's 70-30, but that 30 to the other party might be a win as well.
Correct. Yes.
So there is no hardcore fixed percentage to it.
Yes.
But again, as I'm saying, it depends on situation, depend on contract, depend
Yes.
on what position you are in.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes, for me, sometimes I would consciously if I know I'm going to do business with you again, if it's not something that it's my non-negotiable that I could have gotten, if I know it's going to give me goodwill in the future and it's important to the other person, I could let it go. It's kind of me like depositing, knowing that, okay, tomorrow, and I would let you, and when I do it, I would let you know, I am letting this go. I'm not going to do it and be quiet. I'll say, we're letting this part of this contract go because it's important to you.
In procurement world, I would call these people not as a vendor or as a supplier. I'll call them as a partner.
Yes.
Because they look into the longer run, how
Yes.
this contract is gonna end up and how it's gonna shape our relation.
Yes.
And it's not just that we got this contract and that's it.
That's it, yes.
That becomes numbers for us. We're gonna submit invoice at end of the month and we're getting paid. No, it becomes beyond that.
Yes.
And that's why for a procurement person, you need to create that bond with your suppliers. You
Yes.
need to make them as your partner.
Yes.
And that's where you're gonna be successful in your career.
Yes. what do you think about trust? So for me, trust is very important in everything that I do. Even as a doctor, I want my patients to trust me so they know I'm looking out for their best interest. It doesn't mean I know everything, but at least trust me that I have the knowledge. And when I don't know it, I will go look for more. When I do business, I want people to, I create trust. As a friend, I create trust because I see it this way. If you trust me, and then when we're interacting, you're not going to be watching your back to say, oh, I don't know what she's up to. Right. So what do you think about trust and what's your experience with trust and
Trust
negotiation?
trust is a wider award, I would say, right? It's not just specific to our work life.
Yes,
It goes also in our personal life.
it
It
does.
goes in the relationship.
It
It goes
does.
in the families. It goes throughout your life.
It does.
So without trust, you won't be living, I would say, in a peaceful life,
No.
right? So that's why, as a procurement person, when you're having that kind of trust relation with your vendors, it becomes easy for you to negotiate. It becomes
Yeah.
easy to partner with them. It
Yeah.
becomes easy to get the added value items out of them. Again, it goes also as a trust between you and your stakeholders when you're
Sure.
working with them. If they don't trust you, they won't come to you.
That's
They
right.
will do all the best ways to go beyond the process and make sure that things is done because they don't trust you.
Right.
So, and then also, as I said, it becomes part of personal life. If you don't trust your partner, if you don't trust your family, then it
Like,
doesn't goes beyond.
even if you don't trust the chair you're sitting on, you know what? Trust cuts across so many
Absolutely.
things.
That's why I said it's a wider world.
It is wider.
That
You're right.
yes, yes.
So what's the most interesting negotiation scenario you've been into that you left there? You're like, huh, this is so interesting.
Well, out of my head, there are many, but I
Okay.
guess one of them was not related to negotiating a contract. It was negotiating my career path.
Ah,
At one stage, I was offered a higher position
yeah,
in terms of salary,
yeah,
in terms of the as a designation as a post,
yeah.
but in terms of responsibility, it wasn't what I was expecting. On the other hand, I had other offer where it was from the outside of the organization, where it was yes, better pay, almost same the pay what our organization was giving me, but not the same designation. But it was with the larger scope and larger responsibilities.
So you took that one?
So I took the other one because I negotiated with myself. I said if I end up in this organization now and I take because it has good numbers and it gives me good title, I can show it in front of my name. But it's not gonna add anything to me
It's not
because
changing
I
anything.
reached to that point where I wasn't adding anything more into my career. You remember we talked about
We
it.
did.
So that was the trigger for me to take the other offer, and it ended up in a good way for me because it opened the next door for
For
me
you,
after that,
yeah.
after a couple of years.
Yes.
Because it's exposed me to things which I wasn't aware that I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
And actually, I had the talent to do it, but because I was in my
There
comfort
was
zone.
there was no exposure to it, so you didn't even
Exactly.
know.
So that's why when I was in my comfort zone, I wasn't expecting myself to be able to deliver this. But when I left my comfort zone, when I focused on my career growth, when I let off that designation or the title, whatever I was saying, it opened the next door also for me, not just that door which I just took it.
Yes, I agree. So there's something I tell people. I tell people that the best time to look for a job is when you're still happy with your current job, because sometimes you may have a job that you like and then you go interview, you come back and you go hug your boss. You be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not leaving here. This is so good. Or you could go come back because you have a good relationship with the people that you're working with. They give you a good offer, but you can come back and say, hey, they just gave me this offer. Can I get more money? Because this is what I was offered. You can use that as a negotiating tool, or you can just leave. But I feel like the best time to start to look for it's when you're getting this. I'm adding based on what you just said. When you're getting to the point where you know, okay, there isn't much to learn here anymore,
Absolutely.
but I am still happy here. That's the best time. What do you think?
Absolutely. One of the points that you'll be adding to your list when you're negotiating with yourself
Yeah.
is this environment that I'm stepping into it or the environment that I'm currently in it.
Yeah.
If the current environment is toxic and it's affecting your health, it's
Yeah.
affecting your life,
Yeah.
there is no work-life balance, there is lots of things that goes beyond it, then that's the point for you to just think over it again and again.
Right.
Because you don't want to go to office every day with that feeling where you walk in and then your colleague is walking saying good morning, and you will say like, what is good about this
What is
morning?
good about this
You know, we always reach to that point where because of the environment is there. But
Yeah.
when you have nice colleagues, when you have nice environment,
Yeah.
you will be the person who walks to the office and is saying good morning.
Morning. Yes, yes, yes. Because the last place I worked in the US was, I can still imagine, like, I would just drive and park at the back, open the door. I'm like, good morning, Miss Brenda. Good morning, Takara. I was always so happy. Even now, I miss them. I call them my family, because it was such a happy place. But at the same time, I did not. I don't think it would have ever gotten sour, because it was just a good bunch of people. I call some of my cousins and all of that. But yes, I left when I was still happy.
Yes. Well, see, we all reach at some point where, you know, you have that feeling when it's Sunday evening, and then you're thinking, oh, tomorrow is work. You will not have that feeling if the environment that you're working, you were happy.
Yes.
Or you were happy with what you're delivering, or you were happy with, you know, what's your value in that
Yeah.
organization. Again, that's very important.
It's very
If
important.
you're just going as an individual who's just sitting in front of a PC, who's just, you know, just opening the PC and
Yeah.
then just doing just paperwork, and you're not adding value to your career or to the organization you're working on, you'll end up in that feeling where you feel like, well, I don't want to just go to this office anymore.
Yes.
So that's very important. You know, the environment impacts your career.
So how do you, because there's no way you know all of these things when you're interviewing. How do you, there are ways. I lied. There are ways, because this place where I interviewed, this place I talked about where I worked, that I really liked during my interview, because I interviewed in so many places, but this was the place that I just knew they were very organized. They gave me like VIP treatment. The CEO came to say hello to me during my interview, so I'm like, okay, I like this place. You know,
Can they interview me now?
they could. They could. Yeah, so I knew I could. There was, because I'm originally Nigerian. They had to get, but they knew I'd been in the US for so long. They got another Nigerian to be there, just so I feel that sense of belonging. It was just, I knew it was a good place. But some people have taken jobs that they thought they were going to be happy, and they get there, they're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be like.
Well, that's what goes back to what we decided. We discussed it earlier, right? We said that there is no fixed time frame for you to know things. So it goes at some point where you start getting that feeling, you know, at the beginning of your first 1 month or 2 months or 3 months.
Yeah.
And everyone changed job. You will go through that phase. I myself experienced in a couple of jobs that I have changed, that culture hit. That culture hit from being from one organization to another organization. It takes some time.
It takes a
right?
while, yeah.
So you shouldn't be just saying in first 1 month or 2 months that, oh, this environment doesn't work for me, I'm just gonna leave.
Give it
That's not how you take decisions. You need to give it a time. You need to sit with yourself. Again, goes to put your career plan. You know, if you put your career plan and you have a clear path, you know where you're going, it will take some time. These things can't happen just over
It
1
doesn't
month or
happen
2 months.
overnight.
No?
Yeah, you have to, I agree. Because sometimes it's just for you to find your way to fit into that place. You just haven't really understood the culture enough before you say it's toxic. So give it time, and then
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It always takes time. Even when you're as an individual, when you meet people or you move to a new place, these things takes time.
Tell me about it. It's taking me time. It takes time to understand the new place, to understand how to navigate, to know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. It takes time, but it also, the time becomes shorter when you're looking for the right things, you're asking the right questions, and you're flexible, you're changing ideologies. You're like, okay, this is how it operates here, then you start to change, then it makes it faster. Unlike when you're not asking the right questions and you feel like, oh, it's this place that's a bad place, meanwhile you haven't negotiated with yourself.
Yeah, because you know, life is not going to be always beautiful.
No.
There'll be ups, there will be downs.
Yeah.
So that's also comes to your job. When you are in a new culture, it won't be, you know, just a nice environment from day one until, you know, you're happy, or as you said, you will be treated as VIP. Not everyone gets that opportunity. But, you know, it happens over time, and always there'll be ups and downs. You need to be ready. You need to have plan for it, how you're gonna attack this one, how you're going to attack this one, how you're going to move to next one.
Yes.
So those all happens over a planning. It just
Yes.
happen. Doesn't
And it
happen
takes
over a night.
and it takes
time.
it takes discipline.
Sometimes, yes.
It takes discipline. So talking about discipline, so when I met you at a Forbes event, and then I went to your Instagram, and I saw a different persona.
Yes. I guess lots of people, when they look at me, they see that firm or they see that face features, they see my appearance. They just judge the book by its cover.
I did.
So you're one of them, and that's why they always say don't judge the book by its cover. So, but for people who work with me, for people who knows me for long lifetime now, they knows that what type of personality I have and how do I get along with people. So I just want to say to people, just don't judge the book by its cover.
Right. Well, for those people who don't know what he's talking about, like he's like Mr. like big muscle, he's Mr. Gym, he works out a lot, but that requires a lot of discipline, right? So when I see people who work out a lot, because I have friends, they're like, oh, I can't achieve this. I'm like, if the body you have, you were able to work hard and achieve that, you have discipline, but you just haven't placed it in the right place, or you haven't spread it across multiple areas. So for how long have you been doing all of this gymming and this exercising?
You're revealing lots of information today to people who've been on me for long and they don't know about it. But yes, discipline is one of the things that I negotiate with myself about it always a lot, and I have discussion about it with people from time to time. That if you don't have discipline, if you don't make it part of your daily life routine, you won't be doing it. I've been doing it for more than 15 years now. So it just doesn't happen over a night.
It doesn't happen
And
overnight.
and with that discipline, if you have for something, because that's what we said about you like the environment, that because I love that environment, then I have that discipline for it, and then I see that it's adding to my lifestyle, it's adding to my health. There is benefits for it.
Oh, for sure.
If I reach that point where I see that there is no point of me hitting gym, or it's not adding value to me, or I'm just not benefiting from it anymore, or it's not good for my health, then I won't be doing it and I won't be having that discipline for it.
So how often do you go to the gym?
I go 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
I go after work directly to gym. I do wake up early in the day because I travel from place to place to work. It takes a lot of time on the traffic, but that doesn't
You're not tired?
kill my discipline.
So what do you tell yourself that you keep going? Because I've started, I go to the gym sometimes and I'm like, you know what, then I skip it for like a month, then I go back again.
The main thing that I tell myself and that keeps me going on is that I do the things that I love, and this is gonna benefit me in the longer run when you get old, and you will see yourself the difference between someone who has been working out and going to gym and having healthy food, and between someone who's just was spending time coming back home and just lying down and saying, I'm tired, I don't want to hit gym. I keep think about that and negotiate with myself
yourself.
about it.
See, I should know that. I'm a doctor, so I should know. But I'm like, oh no, I have to prepare for the next podcast. That's what I tell myself. I have to. But I think you know what, from next week. I'm gonna start to negotiate.
So just don't dream about it.
No.
Dream and make sure you do it.
Yes. And you're someone with multiple parts, right? So tell me a little bit about the project you're working on now.
Well, for people who, some of people I informed them when I met them recently, they were shocked. And it was also surprising that, one of the people I was talking to in a meeting, after the meeting, we were having chat, and I told him, listen, I'm working on this program. And he called other kids, listen, this guy, while he's talking, come listen to it. They were this shocked. So I want to tell to people, and thank you for bringing this up, because it's going to help me also. I need more support from people. I'll be doing some stand-up comedy show for Ramadan.
Can you believe that?
And it's going to be in 15 episodes. It will be played in Ramadan, and I look forward to people support.
You have my support.
Thank you, and that's what motivated me, because lots of people that I have been talking to, they always encourage me, and they always love the idea, and I feel myself blessed that I have the bond with that people, whoever I've worked with in the past or whoever I have as a friends, that they always love the connection that I have with them. So I always say Alhamdulillah for making me a blessed person, and having those people who love me to be around me.
No, no, it's a two-way street. You are, because I met you one time. I told you what I wanted. You're like, oh, I'll do it. I reached out again. You're like, oh, sure. So it's a two-way street. If people like you, it's because you like them. So it's what you've put out there that you're getting back.
Absolutely, because for me, main thing is, I always, when I deal with people, that we are all humans, right? We need to be having that connection with people. It's not that I'll be considering myself I'm better from the other person, or I'm not at this level of this person. We are all humans,
We all
and
are.
exactly, and that's why I'm a people person.
You are.
So again, I would say, don't judge the book by its
I
cover.
I judge this book by its cover.
So,
Really,
so
I
lesson
thought.
learned from today's negotiation, right? So,
Well, at least I offered to read the book. I judged it by the cover, but I didn't stop.
absolutely.
I offered to read the book, so that's why we're
Yes,
here.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So what else do you have up your sleeves? Because I don't trust you 100%. The next, but you want to do stand up, like, because these ones you're doing, they're like YouTube, like.
So it's gonna be a YouTube series. It's gonna be 15 episodes. I would request people later on, once the promo is out, to go subscribe to those channels and support me there. And if it goes well and I see people love it, and obviously with people's support, which they're gonna support me and be happy to see my show, I'll be happy then to take it to the next step, which I'm planning for it. It's gonna be a shows, live shows,
Like
and all
on the
this.
stage? Are
Exactly.
you gonna let me know when
And,
when you do those live shows? Because I want to come. I want to come watch.
Absolutely. It's gonna be different vibes. It's not gonna be this podcast vibe. It's gonna be, I'm there with Mike. You will be without Mike.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll just come enjoy it.
Definitely looking forward.
What last words do you have for my audience before we wrap up this show?
I would say thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. I hope that I made it very interesting
You
and
did.
very easy language for people to understand it. I don't want to make it complicated and difficult language for people who are not even in the corporate life to understand what negotiation is, because negotiations we can use in our life as well, in different things we can use it. The main point that I want to highlight before we wrap this up is the negotiation starts before you walk to that room.
Yes, yes. Normally when I end the show, I would tell people one thing to do based on the conversation I had with my guest, and that's what I was going to say. So I think that's the most important thing we've picked out of this whole conversation. So this is what I want you to do. The next time you need to negotiate, you have to do the work before time. You need to know, who am I dealing with? What are the numbers? What are my options? What words can I use that would make this thing go forward? Do I need to learn how to pronounce someone's name? Do I need to ask someone to teach me how to pronounce that name? Whatever you need to do to make that deal go smooth, you do it way before you start. And I also want you to like, follow, and share this podcast. Let's create a community of people who negotiate for the life that they want. And last but not least, I believe this from the bottom of my heart. We all have the potential to be great, so go be great. Thank you for listening.